Great evening, Facebook. It's been a while since I've had a chat with you guys. And I wanted to reflect on some things that happened this week. Those of you who keep up with politics and what's going on in the news, especially with our White House and our new president, I just wanted to weigh in on some things. On March 1st, I made a prediction about Donald Trump's presidency and his presidential agenda, some of the things that he would try to do. And one of them was health care. He wanted to repeal and replace Obamacare on March 1st. I made that prediction that it would not happen. And as we know, yesterday, that they pulled the plan to replace, repeal and replace Obamacare. So that prediction that I made on March 1st about him not being able to push through that bill came true. And I made various other predictions as well about the Trump presidency. Another one was that if he could not get his health care plan pushed through, that there will be no tax cut plan, that there was opposition in the Republican Party that would not fund a $1 trillion plan to build a wall on our southern border, and the infrastructure program as well. This Republican opposition would not finance it, and they're large enough to get in his way as far as his agenda going through. So with that being said, that prediction I made did come true. I also said that he would get none of these other things done. Those that will come true as well, as you will see. One thing I didn't hear when I, looking at the news and just listening to the media, they're all gloating about his failure to not really get this health care plan pushed through. And they're making remarks like, he's an amateur, in which we know Donald Trump is not really a politician. He doesn't really possess the skills to really politically maneuver. That's another prediction that I made, that his political skills, once they got him in Congress, was going to be severely lacking. I made that prediction as well on the 1st of March of this year. Made that prediction, clearly came true. But you have other people like Paul Ryan, in the Republican Party, even though it's fractured, a lot of these guys are extremely skilled. They're far more skilled than Donald Trump. So you have to ask yourself, why did they really try to push this bill through without making sure that they had the votes to pass it? My view is that they really put this bill out there because of the tweets that President Obama made about President Trump made about Obama wiretapping Trump Tower and wiretapping his phones. Those were real bad, very, very bad, harmful, crucially dangerous statements that he made about his predecessor. A lot of people were covering them worldwide. I mean, they were front page news. As it was news here, it was news, front page news some places, and other places in the world. So it was really, really bad. And I think they rolled out this, I think it was the White House who came up with the idea, the White House staff, to roll out this health care agenda before the Republicans. Paul Ryan and, other individuals who really want to see this successful would have done it. And that was their purpose. Let's get people's mind off this this whole scandalous, ridiculous story that was made by Trump to slander and make his predecessor look bad. And so they rolled this out. It didn't help any at all, because people still were very, very concerned about the accusations made by the president. And then you had the Intelligence Committee in Congress, come out with the fact that there was no evidence that Trump Tower was wiretapped by Obama. You had the chief executive of the FBI, Mr. Comey, come to Capitol Hill and testify to the same thing, and turned around and said that there's an investigation still going on against the individuals who participated in the Trump campaign, and there's suspicion of them having some sort of ties with Russia. So here's the deal. I've made those predictions. The first one has come true. Trust me, the other three will come true as well. And I'm going to make some more today. And like I said then, remember, you heard it from Uncle Joe. This is the way it's about to go down. First, I'm going to start domestically before I go foreign. Because we are in for some very ominous, we're in for some bad times. A lot of people are running around and they're laughing, they're gloating, they're happy that this president has failed. But we are really in a bad situation. So this is what I want to say. Hey, Lex, what's up? This is what I want to say real quick. Is that on the home front, this whole investigation about the Trump campaign, members of the Trump campaign having ties to Russia, and somehow colluding with Russia to undermine the campaign, presidential campaign, our presidential race, our presidential process in this country in favor of Donald Trump. Trust me, I'm telling you, that investigation is going to get real ugly, and it's going to reveal things that are going to extremely shock the American people. It's going to shake the very foundation of the supporters who really support Trump and, have this love and affection for the man. And it is going to be of such a nature that it is going to call in question the knowledge or this sort of statement of Trump not having no knowledge of this whole situation taking place. It is going to get really ugly. Trust me when I tell you this. Within this year, bombshells are going to drop when it comes to that whole situation about Trump and his campaign members and their associations with Russia. That's going to be the ugly thing that's about to happen on the home front. The real crazy thing on our international front is one prediction I'm going to make, that we are going to have serious problems with North Korea. They are already sending us extreme messages that they have no respect for this government or this White House. And from what I'm hearing from reporters who are in different countries, this is the gist of what they are hearing foreigners say about, foreign officials say about our White House, that they think our White House is a joke. I see this problem with North Korea becoming so bad where it may require military intervention to be checked and brought under control by our United States military. I also see ISIS re-emerging as a serious threat. And all this is going to be done with ISIS through backdoor channels by the Russians, giving them intel and sophistication on a level that makes them an ominous threat, to the point where we may have to have military intervention in the regions in which ISIS exists to really defeat them, to help our allies in those regions, those places in the Middle East where we have political, social, and economic investments. So I see things getting really, really ugly on, I mean, we're only 60 some odd days into this presidency, and we have went through all this chaos. And I'm telling you, on a international level, things are about to get very, very ugly. So these are the two predictions that I make. And the last one, and then I'm going to get off, and I'm going to get off here. See some people here who are listening to me, and I appreciate them for listening. I'm going to make one last prediction, and that is about our president. Because he will not get his agenda off the ground, because healthcare failed, because he will not be able to get tax reform, because he will not be able to get the funding to build this wall, because he will not be able to get funding to do infrastructure, and the predictions that I make about international problems that he's going to have to face as a president, and failing at them. I see this affecting him in a way that becomes extremely strenuous for the man. His numbers will tank. The very people who support him will abandon him. And we see Republicans right now, as bad as he treated them as he was running for president, they are rallying around him right now, and they will fall in their shield for the man. This whole failure of the health care plan was to protect the president. He made some bad accusations against Obama. They couldn't be proven. So what they did was roll out a health care plan before they were ready, and they failed. They all fell on a shield for this man. You will see that sort of support gone. And I see our president within the next 2 years having a nervous breakdown. Now, when they reported in the media, it will be reported our president had to be hospitalized today due to dehydration. They're going to downplay it as if it's not as serious as it seems. But our president will have a nervous breakdown due to the stress of him being in a situation where he is out of his element. And that's a scary thing when you really think about it. Because number one, we become very unsafe as a nation when we don't have a functioning government to handle the important issues that this country faces. Number two, when you really look at the history of Donald Trump, he was an extraordinary man in a business world. This man, even though, I mean, his dad, I mean, going back to his grandfather, I'm going to start with his grandfather. His grandfather came over here from Germany with nothing but a suitcase, with shirt, pants, shoes, and made a fortune for himself. He did some illegal things, yeah, but he made a fortune. He passed that fortune on to his son, Donald Trump's dad. Donald Trump's dad got into real estate, made his fortune during World War II, well, after World War II, and they were building all these homes for GIs, because GIs were coming home, they were getting married, and Donald Trump's father stepped up and got some of that government money. He built these homes cheaper, overcharged the government for what they really cost. He built them cheaper and faster. And, you know, this got back to Truman, President Truman. He was very pissed. President Truman brought him to Capitol Hill, and they had a hearing. They tried to really put him in jail, but they really couldn't see nothing illegal that he did. They paid him. They said, this is what it costs to build this house. He said, nope, I could build it for cheaper. And he pocketed $3-4 million. And he built that up. After he made that money, he built that up to a vast fortune. Donald Trump, he gave Donald Trump $1 million. Once Donald Trump became of age, he allowed Donald Trump to run his affairs for him. And Donald Trump took his $1 million and invested it in the New York skyline. Everything that Donald Trump did with his money and investments, his father was against. His father would say that's a stupid idea. Donald Trump made massive money. He filed bankruptcy 4 times in his lifetime. And that for me, that's incredible for a man to fall on his shield 4 times and lose everything and then build another massive financial empire. Most men, they lose their shirt once and they're looking for the highest building to jump off of. So this is why I'm saying it's a scary thought on those 2 reasons. That second one being, this sort of breakdown happening to Donald Trump, that he's had all this sort of these challenges in his life and he's prevailed. And like I said, business and politics are just 2 totally different animals. And I see him having a nervous breakdown because of it. So, these are my predictions that I'm making. You know what I'm saying? And for those who didn't see the predictions that I made on March the 1st, I made those predictions before he had even rolled out his plan to go ahead and move on repealing and replacing Obamacare. I was shocked that he did it that early, but when I took 10-20 seconds to think about it, it made sense that they would do this because it was to distract everybody off of the ridiculous tweets that he made. It was really, really bad that he did that. But, with that being said, watch what I say. The predictions that I made are coming true. The first one has already came true, and that first prediction is really the domino effect for everything else that's about to happen. Like I said on March 1st that he's not going to repeal and replace Obamacare. His bill will fail. What happened? His bill failed. Exactly like I called it. And because of that, he can't do tax reform because part of the taxes that they wanted to reform was in Obamacare. So it stops him from doing tax reform. Plus, tax reform is hard. It's something that hasn't been done in 40 years. So it's a difficult thing. He's not going to give, the Freedom Caucus, which is a very big caucus in the Republican Party, is not going to give Donald Trump $1 trillion so he could build a wall on our southern border. They're not going to give him close to $1 trillion for infrastructure programs. They're just not going to do that there. They're very conservative fiscal Republicans. They're the ones who shot down his health care bill from going through. He's done. He's not going to get anything done. And like I said in the prediction, once again, that this Russia thing between his campaign members and collusion with these individuals is going to get very ugly. The 2 international issues that are become dangerous for us on our international fronts, this clash with the North Koreans, the reinsurgence of ISIS, 2 huge problems that are going to be threatening military intervention, and our president, because of it all, having a nervous breakdown. Trust me, when all these predictions come true, you guys will be posting on my page. I'm going to tell you right now, because like I said, number 1 is came true, and number 1 is domino effect for the other 4, and the other new 3, the collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia, the international issues, North Korea, ISIS, and the president having a nervous breakdown are the 3 additional predictions. But like I said, trust me when I tell you all this is about to go down. So you guys go back to enjoying your Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm about to go in here and make some spaghetti for me and my family, some salad, maybe some garlic bread to go with it, and we're gonna have us a nice dinner. All you guys enjoy your weekend, and remember, like I always say, become your fellow Americans' keeper. Forget the politics, forget the politicians. The only individuals that can help us is us, and we need to help each other to be able to do that. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace. I love all y'all, man. Y'all have a great day.